Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have an incredible video today. This is every single unsolved Easter egg in all of Call of Duty Zombies, from World at War to Black Ops Cold War by Absalom. You must check him out in the description below. Make sure to check him out. He compiled all of this, so huge shout out to him. We're gonna see exactly what he's done.
And welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one to me. It's something that I've poured a lot of time into and research, so that as a
gotta show support.
A very extensive database, if you will.
Make sure to like the video and all that.
In all of zombies. This includes World at War all the way through Cold War.
All the way.
Infinite Warfare
Exos?
zombies, World II zombies,
so it's non-Treyarch zombies too.
Think of it,
and Extinction
in this video.
Wow.
Because I've scoured the internet for new leads, information, findings, and then using what I've found as well as my own personal findings, I'm confident that this video is my best effort to present all of the hidden Easter eggs.
I've never even heard of a video being attempted like this, which is incredible.
Combining every possible Easter egg, whether it's believed by some to be solved or just cut. I wanted to put every Easter egg together so that hunters like myself don't have to watch millions of videos to figure out what's up to date.
Just have one video that's all compiled.
It's just too confusing. And so to keep this video up to date, I'm going to be updating the description with any of these that have been solved. And if anything new is found in the future, then I will be putting that in the description as well. So if you're watching this video in a couple hundred years, then check the description.
Yeah, these Easter eggs are not going to be solved in a couple hundred years. I guarantee it. So again, this is not every unsolved Easter egg. We don't know about all of them, in my opinion, but this is all the ones that we do know.
Appreciate any kind of support on this video. And if you haven't already, then be sure to subscribe to my channel.
So this will be really interesting to see.
You don't want to miss out on any Easter eggs.
It's crazy to think that some of the old games have unsolved eggs.
That have stumped the community for years on end. I do want to mention though, with over 30 Easter eggs unsolved still,
so
this
there's
video
only
is going
30
to be a
Easter eggs.
One. I'm going to be doing my best to go through it as efficiently as possible while also maintaining a quality breakdown for each Easter egg.
Yeah,
so
it'll be interesting to see
these, and of course timestamps and chapters are available for your convenience.
Awesome.
Alright, there's no better place to start than at the beginning, so let's cue up World at War's unsolved Easter eggs.
World at War has an unsolved Easter egg,
all the way back to Verruckt.
Okay.
If you've been in the community for a while now, you've probably heard about the Verruckt fountain. Now, we've all longed to be able to venture out into the courtyard and get a close-up of this blood-filled piece of art. And when Blackout added in Black Ops 4, we finally got our chance to splash around. But did you know that before Blackout, you could use no-clip on the PC to move around the map and then see what lies in the unknown?
Yes.
Well, back in 2008, people found a hidden secret underneath the fountain. A mounted MG42 was placed underneath the map and then usable for anyone who broke out of the map.
This is also on Black Ops 3 as well. This is not just World at War.
It was just a cut asset or part of a campaign mission that was never used. However, when Chronicles was added in Black Ops 3, there was another surprise.
That's what I'm saying.
The MG42 was still underneath the map.
Yeah.
Except Treyarch gave it a massive makeover.
Yeah, they did something else.
Added a whole platform with bones and skulls and then 2 zombie arms holding the gun. Now, why would they do this if it was just cut assets? Is it possible that this turret is actually activated by an Easter egg and would maybe act as a trap of some sort? Or is this Treyarch's funny way of being clever for anyone smart enough to get underneath the map?
I think it's just them saying that they've done a turret under the map by accident, because they've left zombie materials under zombie maps all the time. If you look up Shadows of Evil, you can find all these Margwa hearts around the map, underneath the map, that do absolutely nothing. It's all just development. So I think this is not anything to do with a mechanical Easter egg where you can use the LMG. It's just a reference back to the World at War thing.
If it is an Easter egg, I would assume that it would involve...
And they did make a little Easter egg at the fountain. I do remember us at Chronicles telling us to throw grenades at the fountain, but I'm pretty sure they made sure that that was it. So I'm going to have to say, for this one at least, it's a case closed from at least what I know.
Throwing things into the fountain in order to trigger something. If you have any ideas on how to solve Call of Duty's oldest Easter egg, then let me know in the comments below or join my Discord that's linked as well.
I mean, it is a really cool Easter egg.
Fountain, and with one down, let's move on to our next
It's one of the first Easter eggs as well.
Our next couple Easter eggs take place on the Giant, and yes, I'm aware that this is not actually World at War.
Yeah.
However, we all know this is Therese with makeup on, and also I just wanted to keep the Easter eggs in this video as linear as possible.
The Giant in BL3 has a lot of ciphers, but there's also a lot of like random things that haven't been solved. So I'm curious.
So I'm going to be placing this map.
The dot cipher. I see it on YouTube.
Alright, first up, we have the dotted clock cipher Easter egg. There's not much known on this Easter egg except that this one clock in the library of the map has strange dots on its surface. This is very easily missed in-game, so no wonder it hasn't been solved yet. So if you look closely at the clock, it has dots next to each of the numbers.
What the
heck? This has
heck?
become known as the clock cipher and has had loads of work done, but never solved.
Huh.
I also want to point out that this clock can also be found in the boxing gym on Shadows of Evil. So this cipher is obviously important throughout Black Ops 3, and I would be really interested in knowing what lore is hidden behind the dotted cipher.
I do remember Jason Mundell telling all the zombie YouTubers that if some of these ciphers get solved, that you should call Treyarch personally because they would be shocked that you would solve them. But also with this one, I'm pretty sure this is across all the maps because I also remember Jason Mundell saying that if you a lot of these ciphers would not actually be solvable until Revelations came out. So now that Revelations and Chronicles is out, all this is solvable now. So it's definitely something across certain maps, which maybe it's something to do with positioning. Who knows?
It's probably not specific to the giant storyline, but more likely just tied to the broad scope of the Black Ops 3 storyline.
Exactly.
But still interesting nonetheless.
Yeah.
It seems like
It's
time
probably
itself
something.
isn't the only thing that's stopped on this map, but also the progress on this cipher. With absolutely
And the coolest thing is once it's solved, it will actually dedicate or contribute a lot towards the storyline. We just don't know what it
progress
is.
made in the last few years, it's starting to look a little bit dreary. I've even seen postings about how glass that is broken resembles the shape of a clock next to the second teleporter, and I just want to be the first to say that this has absolutely no relation to this cipher. It's
it's
just
probably just
broken glass
design.
on the ceiling, and it has nothing to do with this. So if you were hunting this, then please don't consider that as a partial lead on a hunt. With that being said, however, if you have any actual leads on this Easter egg, then the community would be great.
We'll never know, y'all. We'll
that is
never
going
know.
to wrap up the dotted clock cipher on
I mean,
the
it's
giant.
cool.
Now let's move on to our next unsolved Easter egg, which is also a cipher.
Yeah.
Now on to our
There's
last
probably going to be a
giant
lot
Easter
of
egg.
ciphers.
Now for
Yeah,
anyone out there
another
who's
giant
hunted
cipher
ciphers,
too.
let me be the first to say
there's a
that it's
couple.
going to be okay and that one day we will know what this one says. So our last unsolved Easter egg on the giant is a cipher that is found in the window barrier beneath the giant clock.
You'll
And
never
it looks
know.
as follows.
You'll never know.
This cipher has stumped people ever since its discovery in Chronicles. It's believed by many to be a base
Couldn't
64
tell ya.
cipher, and I do agree. However, it's more likely double encrypted, and if I had to guess, I would say that it's using the giant as a key for the cipher. But our biggest issue is that base 64 ciphers are converted to ASC2 ciphers.
Also, there's probably a chance that Treyarch put some of these ciphers and made a mistake, and that one mistake is causing these ciphers to just not be solved.
We don't know what other cipher it's using as the giant as a key, so
That's
if you're aware
also
of the
another
tucked away
thing.
cipher in Black Ops 3 that no one's aware of, then my door is always open. I hope that this cipher and the dotted clock cipher both get solved and that one day
They
our
probably
community
never
can finally
will.
get some sleep.
And they probably
But
will
that is
never
going to
reveal
wrap-
it because Jason Mundell doesn't even work at Treyarch. He doesn't even work at his own studio. He's probably fully forgotten at this point.
Up war maps with the Fountain Easter egg on Verruckt, the dotted clock cipher on the giant, as well as the giant
Yeah,
cipher
Black Ops
on
3
the
I'm
giant.
expecting to
So
be the
let's move
majority
on
of this
because we
video.
still have several more Easter eggs to go over. Moving chronologically, we arrive at Black Ops 1.
Black Ops
Sadly,
1,
there's
Shane.
only one Easter egg left on this entire game.
Really?
This lone Easter egg exists on Shangri-La. So apparently there is a mysterious place that a player can stand and then enter the Konami code to receive extra points.
Really?
If you're unfamiliar with what the Konami
Oh,
code is,
yeah.
it's a cheat code made famous by the game Contra, who's developed by Konami in 19...
Treyarch played a lot of these older games, so I'm not surprised that something like this is in the map. But I think it's also in BO3 as well.
86. The sequence is up, up, down, down, left, right, B, and A.
Okay,
Ever since
what a
this cheat
weird
code has been used in gaming, and
Easter
it's
egg.
now surfaced in Call of Duty when data miners found out that the Konami code could be entered in Shangri-La to receive bonus points. So ever
Why?
since then, people are now
Why?
spamming this all over the map with no prevail. So this unsolved Easter egg needs a gaming legend to find the secret spot so we can all get to Pack-a-Punch a little bit quicker.
I think maybe if we figured it out like the Voyage of Despair Easter egg that series figured out where you can fly around the map, like figuring out the hidden trail. It's probably some hidden spot on the map that you have to click. Once we figure it out, it'll be pretty cool. Probably we'll figure this one out
I
very
also want to
soon.
point out that there is another Easter egg on this map where you spam a cheat code and then blow up all the monkeys. And I just want to clear up any confusion that these are not related despite
Yeah, they
them
are
being
not
very
related.
similar.
Shank has a
Now,
lot
the
of
only other
strange
thing I want to
eggs.
mention for Black Ops 1, and I'm not really sure if you want to call this an Easter egg or not, but it is an unknown in the game, and that is the fact that there is the word Samantha, Amelia, Abigail written on the wall in the dressing room on Kino the Toten. Now, at this point in the storyline, we know that Samantha is Samantha Maxis. We know that Abigail is actually Misty from Black Ops 2. However, Amelia is still an unknown person in the storyline. It's widely believed that it's Samantha's mother, but we don't actually have confirmation on this.
That's
so if you know who this
interesting.
Amelia is, then please let me know in the comments. I would love to know who this is.
I have a feeling that Amelia was actually supposed to be Scarlet for the Chaos storyline. I'm not even gonna lie. Maybe they could have teased it like that. Because I know Jason Mundell did run Chronicles. So him trying to tease Chaos honestly makes sense to me.
But that is going to be everything for Black Ops 1, and that's going to wrap it up. So let's move on to Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 1 does
Unsolved
not have a
Easter
lot.
eggs.
Most of Black
So
Ops 1
looking at
is
Black
solved.
Ops 2, there's actually no Easter eggs left on this game that we know about.
Interesting.
I did days upon days of research trying to find anything at all that could be an unsolved Easter egg, and sadly I just couldn't. There were two things, however, that people believed were unsolved, and so I did the research myself, and I can confidently say that these are not Easter eggs. The first being the transit energy orb.
A lot of these were also glitches made by Treyarch, and they were also intentional, meant to screw with people. I remember this back when Transit's Easter egg was solved, and everybody thought that there was more to it. This is all a scam by Treyarch, in my opinion. This is one of the worst things, in my opinion, that they've ever done to us.
This is something you get when you complete the transit Easter egg and
so
then you load into a
ridiculous.
game with Misty.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see these energy orbs flying around the map, and this is just something kind of cool to show you where the energy is that powers the pylon, and it's nothing more. Second,
Or if you hit a random door handle on the map, the light will also fly from the tower to the door handle, but it does nothing. It's all a scam.
one was a little bit far-fetched, where it involved shooting a plane on fire in Origins with the upgraded ice staff, and apparently would extinguish the fire and be a possible lead on an Easter egg. But I can confidently say the only thing extinguished here is any Easter eggs left on Black Ops 2.
True, and it's a myth. It's a myth! You're trying to grasp at straws.
So with that out of the way, let's move on to a game that
Let's see
actually has
BO3.
Easter eggs
Yeah,
left to
BO3
solve,
is gonna
and
be
that
the
is
one.
Black Ops 3.
I knew it.
Despite what people might think, the code did not actually shine a light on every unsolved Easter egg. So I'm here to tell you that there is actually things left on this game, and let's get started with the very first one. All right,
What
so
is
it's time
left
to
on
get shady with
Shadows?
the Easter eggs by starting with
Because I thought one of the devs went on Twitter and said that everything on Shadows was solved, but I'm curious.
Shadows of Evil. Shadows has a couple of things left to discover. Our first unsolved Easter egg is something that you might have forgotten about, but this is the Noir
Easter
mode
egg.
that can be activated by shooting a picture off the wall in the boxing gym. This mode is pretty cool, but apparently in the game files, we are aware of a way of exiting the Noir mode. However, no one except Blundell himself seems to know how to do this. Could it be by shooting something else, or is there a symbol or something visible in this mode that allows us to leave? Who knows, but hopefully one day.
To give you a hint, I remember Jason Bundell and Treyarch telling me that the point of this Easter egg is to kneel towards the devs, towards you, for you to get the Noir mode. So maybe getting out of it is like standing up or refusing to kneel or something. Maybe you have to literally crouch and stay crouched once you activate it and stand up at some certain point in the map or something. It's probably something ridiculous like that.
Someone will find a way to turn off the depression in Shadows of Evil. Okay, our next unsolved mystery, or should I say mysteries, are the Revelation Ciphers. There are a total of 14 ciphers on Revelation.
14. This is what I mean. A lot of these, I think they're personal messages that they will never solve unless you're a Treyarch employee, genuinely. And I think employees at Treyarch now still can't solve them.
And sadly, only 4 of them have been solved. So
Yeah,
instead of breaking all
4
10
out
ciphers
of
down,
all
I'm
of
just going to
that.
display
Oh my
each one
gosh.
here. And if you have any
Look at
questions, feel
this.
free to join my Discord and talk to me personally
Any Bible theologians?
about the unsolved ciphers. What I will talk about with these is that they are mostly, if not all, double
That's
encrypted,
egregious.
and they're using very complicated encryptions. Some of
Yeah.
them are set up to appear as though they are using hashing, but most likely don't, and that would be crazy if they did. But this is the product of Jason Blundell's mind, and he even went on record saying that we wouldn't find most of these. So
Yeah.
with that being said, I want to wish you the best of luck on hunting these ciphers. I personally
I think most of these will never be solved, to be quite honest. I think we will live a whole lifetime, and when I'm 90 years old, someone will be like, I finally figured it out with AI, bro.
really enjoy hunting ciphers, and ever since solving the Voyage of Despair doll cipher, I've been eager to hunt some more. So if you want to nerd out over some ciphers, I'm always down to try to potentially crack one of these codes. Now with that one out of the way, let's move on to 3 more unsolved Easter eggs on Revelations. The first one has us digging through the code once again, where it is found that a chicken can be used in place of a trip mine as your weapon. The code also
I think this got scrapped, and I don't think this is anything that actually leads to an egg.
mentions that eggs can be seen from a teleporter, but
Yeah.
it's unclear how exactly this would work.
And it's due
So
to the spawn
what we know
area.
so far is that somehow on Revelations you can acquire a chicken to help you kill zombies.
Yeah.
Would it be similar to the Dead Ops arcade chicken, or is this something entirely different? We
It'd be
also know
cool
that
if
chicken
they
sound
did add
effects are in
something.
the code, which could be tied to this Easter egg. Currently, with no progress towards this Easter egg, the community isn't even sure if this is still active or scrapped.
think it got
Our best lead is
scrapped.
the chicken coop in Spawn, but other than that, this Easter egg is an unsolved mystery in Black Ops.
I feel like Treyarch would have said something if this big of a mechanic has gone unsolved. But yet again, they didn't say anything about the spider bait in Zetsubo.
3
So
and has
that's
absolutely
true.
0 leads. The next unsolved Easter egg in Revelations is the theater screening Kino's portion of the map. It is believed that the screen can actually be lowered and used like it was in the original Kino. However, the trees are currently blocking the projector, and this is
I think that's cap. Who gave you that idea, bro?
really
Like, some of
weird,
these are just
because
straight
these trees that block
myths.
it aren't actually like the other trees in the game. These trees actually move around and can be shot right through. So could doing something to clear these trees out of the way be
Oh.
the Easter egg to allow us to lower the screen?
That looks
Who knows,
so
but I
weird. What the heck? It looks like Resident Evil
don't think
7.
the trick would just program two trees to be different
Ugh.
for absolutely no reason. Let me know what you think in the comments
Weird.
below, because it would be really cool to finally
Maybe that
use
is
the
an
projector
unsolved
screen
one.
once again. Alright, so our last Easter egg on Revelations is actually dubbed the Meteor Easter egg, and it's a much lesser known Easter egg. So in the files of the game, it states that if you take an apothecant egg, which is towards the end of the main Easter egg, it will allow you to place it into a mysterious pot and something will happen.
Really?
Look, I know it's vague, but that is all that we have to go on. In the code, it has a sequence of words that are grouped together that allow us to believe what this is actually about, and that's why it's called the Meteor Easter egg, because it has words like gateworm egg, holding pot, trigger meteor. It's all together in a sequence of coding that I won't.
Maybe that's the egg that turns into the chicken egg. Maybe it's still unsolved. I mean, that I can honestly believe because nobody has still been able to find anything about it. Again, people have gone into the files, and these are things that even with the files, you still can't necessarily cheat them through. So it'll be interesting to hear about that one for sure.
Technical, you basically are supposed to put an apothecant egg in some sort of pot, and this will trigger some sort of gateworm.
It sounds
meteor.
like a way to get
It
a
seems
chicken
kind
egg.
of crazy, but
Yeah.
honestly, this is Black Ops 3, and
Maybe that was the way to get the chicken egg, like, but they also scrapped that
Easter
as
eggs are
well.
pretty
You
wild.
never know.
So
You
I
never
have
know.
no idea what this Easter egg might actually look like, but I think it's time to start looking for places to put these eggs other than the apothecant's stomach. But that is going to wrap up Revelations Unsolved Easter eggs, and let's move on to our next game, Black Ops 4.
Yeah, Black Ops 4
Ops
is also going to have a ton.
notorious for having a lot of side Easter eggs.
Oh, yeah.
And, however, a lot of them have been solved, but there's still so many that haven't been solved. Even just a few months ago, there was new ones being discovered. So
Yeah.
with this
The
game,
code
there's
is
a lot
just
to go
getting
over,
looked
so I'm gonna be
into.
trying to move as efficiently as possible. Our first Easter egg
A
is
lot of these could be solved within like months, to be
the floating
honest.
zombies Easter egg on Voyage of Despair. It's
Really?
actually debated on whether it's solved or
Oh,
not.
what?
And I know it's funny that we
What
don't
is
know,
this?
but personally, I believe that it's already solved, but there are plenty of people that still think there is something left to find, and so in that case, I'm going to be including it in this video. There is a zombie strung up on the wall
never seen
in the
this.
galley in the Voyage of Despair map. So once you collected all 3 parts that needed to assemble the zombie, you will actually get a strange effect on certain rounds. The zombies will appear as though they are floating and more likely underwater.
What?
So to get this one started, you need to collect 3 pieces. The first is a trident
Dude,
that you...
Voyage of Despair is literally just a maze box. That's all I think about with
use
this
an
map.
acid bomb to
There's
knock
so
down
many
the
Easter
rafters
eggs
in
on
the
this
engine
map.
room. The second one is going to be a mustache. You need another acid bomb to knock out of a plant from the promenade starboard deck.
Like, what?
And the third one is going to be a crown that you can shoot down from the deck in the bridge area of the map that is sitting on top of one of the
Why?
steam stacks. Once you have all 3 parts, the zombie can now be assembled, and this is as far as people have gotten. Personally,
Huh.
I think the floating zombies are the reward, but there is another side of people who believe that now you need to do something during this round to get the full reward.
Knowing Voyage of Despair's Easter eggs, I'm curious because some of them actually combine. Someone should actually test. I know it's Voyage of Despair, so you have to play the map, but someone should actually test this one with the newly discovered ones that were just solved on this map. Maybe they're correlated, maybe not. I
Knowing
don't
Black
know.
Ops 4, I would not be surprised at
Wow,
all if there
that
is
is a
actually
cool
more to
Easter egg,
this.
though.
So I hope that if
I've
something does
never
exist,
heard of
that
it.
one day we get a definitive answer to this Easter egg.
Wow.
Alright, the next Easter egg is on Blood of the Dead. It's probably not news to you that there are 2 unsolved Easter eggs on Blood of the Dead, with the first one being the bone in the cell blocks. Now I'll keep this
I
one
haven't
pretty
heard of this
short
one,
because
actually.
there's not much known on this Easter egg at all. This bone has Sal
Does it say soy?
DeLuca's inmate number scratched into it,
never
which
mind.
is 386A, and it can be found in the cell block area.
Oh,
Now,
no.
no one has any leads on what this bone is here for, and it can't just be a prop because it doesn't show up in custom mutations. So what
Weird.
is this clue to an Easter egg that Treyarch wants us to know? No one has any answers to the questions we've been asking for years now, and we're no closer
Blood of the Dead, man. You'll never know.
to solving this. As we
That's
were
a
on
cool
day
little
1.
thing. I
But
wonder
hey,
what it's
maybe you have
for.
some crazy idea that will solve this mystery on Blood
Maybe
of the
it's
Dead.
just a random
Our next
homie's
egg is a
bone.
very popular one. It is the perk coin Easter egg on Blood of the Dead. Now, I'm going to say that this Easter egg is
What?
almost undoubtedly cut from the game. However, this video is covering every single unsolved Easter egg in all of Zombies, so I'd be remiss if I didn't include this one in this
I've
video.
never heard of this one either.
Now, this
what the
egg
heck?
involves a mysterious coin that is lodged in the change return slot on the brew perk. Why is this coin there? It's believed that it's part of a free perk Easter egg, but who can honestly say for sure? I've tested loads of ideas with this with no luck at all, but
I think it's probably just the design of the machines. I mean, these machines were very strangely designed. I remember Blundell tried to say that he would just use these machines to put in all the new perks that they were adding, but that concept didn't really work out too well.
my best guess is that it involves the mini teleporter in Spawn. Now you get a
Oh,
voice line
maybe.
whenever you break the teleporter
I
about
guess it's
how you
only
can
on
maybe fix
blood.
it. So could fixing the teleporter be the way that the free perk icon
Again,
spawns the map and then the coin maybe
Could just be another random side EE that they didn't finish too.
disappears as payment? Who knows? But this community could always use an extra hand to help solve this
Yeah,
Easter egg.
probably will never
Speaking
know
of
about this
extra
one.
hands, that brings me to my next Easter egg, the catwalk arms.
Another
The
blood of the
catwalk
dead
has zombie arms that swipe at you when you cross the catwalk, but if you damage the arms, they retract for the rest of the round. So this Easter egg is said to have a reward if the arms are shot in a correct order. For
Oh,
whatever reason, this one
interesting.
kind of reminds me of the steel barriers on transit. this
Yeah, they're
cramped
very
space where you're
similar.
trying to shoot
What
zombie
the heck?
arms.
I haven't heard
But
a lot
anyways,
of
the reward could be the hands disappear for the rest of the game, or possibly they drop something for us when they're done correctly.
Probably
Now, this could be a
drop
really
something.
cool way to get a power
But how do you figure out the order, bro? There's got to be some sort of way.
up or something for free, but that's going to wrap up Blood of the Dead, and
That sounds like a nightmare to Easter egg
now
trial.
let's move on to our next map, which is 9. So looking at 9, or IX, we've got 2 unsolved Easter eggs remaining on this map. Our first one is the long-standing fire bowls in the arena. There are 8 bowls around the outside of the arena, and during specialist rounds, the 4 on the sides will light up with fire. However, it was found out that by using a Wraith Fire grenade, you can light up all 8 bowls in a specific order to get them to stay permanently lit for the rest of the game. Now, as for what this next step is, no one knows. But why do these bowls light up? What are they part of? Well, hopefully we'll get answers soon.
Could just be a cut Easter egg. I always think like with these ones, they're either cut or it's just extremely random. Because I mean, it took us forever to figure out that random Dead of the Night one. So
It was believed that they were part of the
don't know.
Guitar Rift Easter egg, but with that recently being solved, that theory went out the
true.
window. So whatever this Easter egg is, I hope the reward is pretty lit because we've spent hours upon hours chucking grenades into other bowls with no real progress. Also, if you're curious
Yeah,
about
it's
hunting
gotta
this
mean
yourself,
something.
the order to light these in is the left Ra, the left Zeus, the right Odin, the right Daniel.
it's gotta
the
mean
left
something.
Daniel,
There also has
the
to be
left
something
Odin,
else you
the right
shoot
Ra,
along
and
with
then
it.
the right Zeus.
Maybe there's
And
like
that's gonna
those shields above it. Maybe you
wrap
have
up
to
the
shoot.
9 fireballs. Reminder, it has to be a Wraith Fire grenade.
Yeah.
And now let's move on to our
It
next
seems like a
Easter egg on
shootable
this
Easter
map.
egg. Weird.
Alright, moving on, we reach the mural in the Pack-a-Punch room on 9. Now, my friend Skype actually brought this to my attention a while
like
back, and
Hercules.
it's strange because this mural was found on the wall of a Pack-a-Punch room, but it's only visible in regular games, which means it doesn't show up in custom mutations, which is a good way to confirm if it's an Easter egg or not.
Oh,
now, my best
interesting.
guess is that this mural is actually a way to show the steps for the main Easter egg, and that's why it's actually there, because in customs you don't have the
Oh, but it kind of does. Yeah, like getting all the materials and processing them down. That is true.
ability to do the main Easter egg, so it's been removed. But if this isn't the case, then what is this mural for? Perhaps you need
Maybe
to shoot
it
with a
is used
specific
for something.
gun or
There's
specialist
coins.
to trigger
Maybe
something.
the coins could
Honestly,
be
I
on
really
there.
don't know what this
Well, that's
could
from Blood of
be
the
if
Dead.
it's not due to the main Easter egg. But I'm really curious what you think, so let me know in the comments
Maybe it is just an Easter egg, the little template.
below. Now let's move on to the map that has my current focus for Easter
Dead
egg
of the
hunting,
Night,
which is
bruh.
Dead of the Night. Now
This
this
map
map
has
has 2
infinite
Easter eggs that have
eggs.
haunted me
It's an Easter egg
endlessly.
itself.
Sorry, that was a lame attempt at a ghost joke, because, you know, the map has ghosts. Anyways, let's just move
This
on to the
map,
unsolved
bro.
Easter eggs already. With the first one being the trap Easter egg that I mentioned in a previous video of mine. Now, this is something that my team back in the day always found suspicious. So no matter what trap you're doing this with, it always turns blue when you're doing the main Easter egg. So why did Treyarch program the flames to be green if it's not used at all? So then that got us
Oh.
thinking, what do the green flames actually
I've
do?
never seen this.
They don't stick to the shields, so what then? Well, could they have to kill a certain amount of poison catalyst in the traps? We
what
have
the
no
heck?
idea. A recent theory of mine is that maybe you have to use the wooden steak knife in some fashion to melee something in it, so I'm going to be testing that later this week. And if you're sitting there thinking that this doesn't really look like much, well, the devs don't have a lot of time on their hands, and they're not just making green flames for shits and giggles. So now we have to figure out what the
I mean, maybe they are though.
green flames are actually for. What do they represent? And that's a little inside look at what I'm currently hunting, as well as another Easter egg on this map, which we will
Yeah,
get to.
again, I think this is just an FX bug. There's a lot of them with that, so they probably just left it in. I don't think there's anything to do with it. If there is, that's cool, but I feel like we would have probably found it at
in
least
just
by
a
now.
moment. And if you want to find out what's been tested on this green flame Easter egg, then let me know in the comments or join my Discord, because I have a full list
That
of
is
everything
interesting
we've
that they
tested
left
my
it in,
Discord
though.
that I will happily share with you. But now let's move on to the Easter egg that I've been hunting well over a year and spent countless hours on, the Dead of the Night vases. Alright, so the Dead of the Night vases. So there are 6 vases that appear around the walls
Well, this one was just solved, the vases. This is what gives you the 6 perks in the homunculus.
of the main hall and can be broken with frag grenades or a pack-a-punch trebuchet.
Yeah, this one was actually just solved, so
now to be
I'm just gonna skip this one.
For this series,
We figured this one
show
out.
why Treyarch made deals. I want to mention that Ancient Evil has 0, zip, no, nada, nothing for Easter eggs outside.
I mean, Ancient Evil was also started when, like, Treyarch realized that they're not going to get a massive budget, so that's when all these side Easter eggs also evaporated from the game. And so because of that, Ancient Evil was sort of the last zombies map, I think, where they stopped doing all these side Easter eggs, which is why all the on-disc maps have all these Easter eggs, but then as soon as Ancient Evil comes out, that's it. That's basically where it goes.
So that's just really sus to me, and I'm just not sure why Treyarch made DLC 3 have absolutely nothing.
Because they lost all their budget. That's literally why.
If this map does have side Easter eggs, I would suggest starting with the upgraded shield because it's one of the few maps without one. However, this map is just a mystery to me on why it has absolutely 0 side Easter eggs.
Again, lack of budget, no time. Treyarch was basically at this point trying to either leave, or a lot of developers were trying to find work elsewhere, so that's why the later half of this game is an absolute dud, in my opinion.
My point in putting in this video is just to maybe look into this map because it has a lot of potential to have side Easter eggs. Alright, now we've finally arrived at Cold War Zombies.
Cold War, interesting.
Zombies experience.
I'm curious to hear some Cold War ones.
This being said, Easter eggs aren't really the same as they were. Now, don't worry, this is not going to turn into some rant about Cold War, but I just want to say that there's only one kind of lead for all of Cold War. This is the first time that a game has been solved this quickly. And
I mean, Cold War really was trying to be easy for players, so that's why I'm curious if there actually is one here.
So there's just not much to talk about when it comes to unsolved Easter eggs. Now, I've researched thoroughly, and there's only one thing I actually want to mention that is on D Machine.
Oh, interesting.
Now, most of us know that on round 42, if you enter the Dark Ether, a hulking summoner will stomp by on the map. But
yeah, this was crazy when we figured this out before Firebase Z. That was so wild.
Did you know that
what
you
a
will
great
also
teaser.
enter the map if you go into Dark Ether and stay underground for 115 seconds? Loud stomping and moaning can be heard, and then a max ammo will spawn in the pond. And this is where the debate starts on whether it's a solved case closed Easter egg or if there's more to it. Now, my own opinion and own personal experience is that I went into the Dark Ether all the way up until like round 40, going into every single portal on every single step of the Easter egg. I did it so many times in one game, did it over a couple different games actually. I never got the max ammo to spawn, I never got the loud stomping, I never got the loud moaning.
I've had this happen to me once. I think it's rare, so there probably is something that maybe people are shooting or doing that unlocks it. I know you can get a jump scare from the max ammo as well.
I couldn't get this to work no matter how hard I tried. So
hey,
maybe I'm doing it wrong.
So,
but hey, assuming this is an Easter egg, well, Cold War is not really known for its convoluted steps.
Cold War does
my
not
opinion
have
on this is that
crazy
it's
side
probably
Easter eggs
just
like
a
Black
max
Ops
ammo
4.
Easter egg if this actually does
It's probably just a max ammo Easter egg.
exist.
Yeah.
Now, for those that believe this is an Easter egg, they think that the max ammo is a hint at what's next and that maybe you need to shoot something to trigger the next step.
That just sounds bogus.
That
that just sounds bogus, man.
Would the reward be a max ammo? That's kind of stupid, so there must be more to this.
No
but honestly,
way.
this is the same map that has 2 free perk Easter eggs in a game that you can buy your way to a perkaholic in 5 minutes.
Exactly. It's just, I think this is copium.
So I think the reward is just the max ammo.
Yeah.
That
Cold
being
War
said, I
is
also
not
couldn't get this
complex.
to work. So
Yeah.
I don't know where I stand on this one, but I just wanted to put it in this video because it is something that is unsolved apparently, and I am not leaving anything out in this video. And with all of that, that's going to conclude Treyarch Zombies Easter eggs with a total of 19 unsolved.
Only 19. There's 11 for non-Treyarch. That actually confirms that we don't know nothing, bro.
Unique Easter eggs.
People don't play non-Treyarch,
It's 28 if you count.
I'm curious to hear
Cipher
what these
on
are, though.
Revelations. So now let's move into non-Treyarch zombies. First off, let's start by addressing the black sheep of the lot, exo-zombies and extinction.
Exo-zombies, man. And extinction, yep.
Both of these modes have nothing to offer as for unsolved Easter eggs, and I'm sure most of you are happy to hear that these games are completed and will never have to be re-downloaded ever again.
Woo!
I was a bit surprised to learn that nothing was left, but
it's just honey to my ears. Sweet honey.
personally, I'll happily ghost extinction, and at the end of the day, I guess our community was just too advanced for exo-zombies.
Yeah,
okay, so with those 2 games out of the picture, that brings us to a much more appreciated zombies, a community favorite, World War II. Wait, sorry, that's the next one. No, of course I'm referring to Infinite Warfare Zombies.
Yeah, I think a lot of the unsolved side EEs on this game will be super interesting.
Infinite has 2 unsolved
Space
Easter eggs as of
helmets.
today, so
What
let's
is
dive
this?
into Zombies in Spaceland. And
Zombies
go
in
over our
Spaceland is
first
some of the
unsolved
coolest side
mystery.
Easter eggs ever. I miss when Lee Ross was making zombies, man. This game was incredible.
So our first unsolved Easter egg is on Spaceland, and it's something that has stumped the community ever since the beginning. This is the space helmet Easter egg, and it's only known about in the code of the game. And we notice that on round 6000, it's coded to give all zombies space helmets, which would make headshots much harder, and the zombies' power level over 9000.
Weird.
But why round 6000? Well, it's believed that it's actually triggered by an Easter egg, and that the devs put it at round 6000, so that technically it's in the game, but on a round that no one could reach, as to not spoil the game's surprise.
This does also seem like an in-dev Easter egg, so it's probably incredibly difficult to solve.
The problem here is that no one knows what
Almost
triggers
impossible.
the actual helmets.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling saucy,
Or it's
then
just
maybe
a
you can
code.
load into a game and solve this one for the community. The leading theory on this is that the astronaut behind the glass in the Journey to Space section of the map with the 2 blue balloons could be a hint on how to solve this Easter egg. Maybe you have to shoot all the balloons except for the blue ones to trigger something.
Oh, that's
Your
an
guess is as
interesting
good as
hint.
mine, so let's just move on to the next unsolved Easter
To
egg.
be honest, I just think it's bogus. I just think it's probably some button command like Voyage of
Infinite
Despair.
Warfare
This
Zombies.
seems like one of those types
Now
of
on to our
Easter
next
eggs.
one in Raven the Redwoods. Now this is the slasher mask Easter egg that is shown in the trailer. The community is really torn on whether it's just added into the trailer for special effects, or if that was a teaser to show us an actual Easter egg in-game that we could be rewarded with the slasher mask.
Special effects.
Seeing that the slasher
I'm
mask
just gonna
is in
guess.
the game is promising, but whether
They probably had it initially and then took it out and scrapped it because they realized it's annoying. So
it's
that's
obtainable is a
probably
whole
why.
other question. Masks are not a new addition to zombies, so
Yeah,
it's very
because they didn't do that with Revelations, for example. That's a great point.
possible, but I'm leaning more to the side that it's just a cinematic effect for the trailer.
Yeah, 100%.
But no matter what you believe, this is still an unsolved mystery on Infinite Warfare. However, it has
Definitely just
absolutely no
unsolved.
leads on
You can
how
probably
to
ask
get
Lee Ross
this.
on Twitter
And
and he
with
can
that,
tell
that's
you.
going to conclude Infinite Warfare Zombies.
That's it
So that
for
leaves us with the
IW?
beloved World War II
Oh.
zombies.
Dude, don't ask Lee Ross then. We got to keep this one unsolved. Keep the content alive.
I'm actually shocked this has anything left since the community couldn't stop praising this game for all of its dragons and apothecans and shadow guys and wait, sorry, wrong game. Actually, no, World War II is one of the toughest zombies, not only for surviving, but for hunting. The
World War
devs
II,
left
man.
no handouts
game.
in this game, and even went on record saying that these Easter eggs are some of the hardest ones ever, but they are kinda possible if we look hard enough.
They're hard because it's fog, man. I can't see. That's why I'll never figure it out.
Like, yes, yeah. The hint system exists solely for the casual path to get, the players who want to get in and explore and see what the game is all
never
about.
seen this,
But there's
actually.
this deeper, darker level. It is wicked hard.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
For real though, this is one of my favorite
Well.
zombies, if I'm being
I'm not gonna solve it.
honest, and it absolutely kills me that there's not much solved in this game because most likely there is far more to discover than what I'm going to cover today. I'm only going to be going over the known unsolved Easter eggs, but I bet there are loads of eggs yet to be
Again,
discovered.
that's what I'm saying. This list could probably double or even triple considering how many the devs actually know compared to what we know.
The community kind of boycotted this game, leaving lots of work to be done, so let's dive into
Yeah,
the
after
insanity
Final
that is
Reich,
left to be sorted
this
out on
game
World War
was
II Zombies.
a little bit of a miss.
Our first few Easter eggs take place on the Final Reich. So let's start with the most popular Easter egg, and this is
Let's
known
see
as the
it.
Clocktower Easter egg.
Oh,
Very
interesting.
little is actually known about this one other than that there's 4 Tesla coils placed at the top of the clock tower. We
Huh.
also know that it is possible for the Zeppelin to strike one of these Tesla coils. Originally,
Oh,
it was believed that
interesting.
the Zeppelin had to be shot in 6 different places in order to make it strike the tower. However, my friend Glitching Queen made a video on this, and it actually just proves why this isn't actually possible, and it gives really good insight on the clock tower, so I'd highly recommend that video, which I'll link below in the description. So after her discovery, we know that the Zeppelin can in fact strike the tower, but it's only random, and that the player doesn't actually need to do anything. So the Easter egg that remains is, how do we get the other 3 Tesla coils charged, and what
Could it just be a scrap feature? Again, a lot of these I feel like are just scrap features that they just left some of the assets in the game.
happens when we do? These are the questions that have stuck with the community ever since the start. This is
Because maybe that was the initial way to take it down, but then they realized, like, yeah, that's going to make the Easter egg way too long, so maybe we shouldn't do that.
the base map for World War II. The map where the devs had the most time to work on it.
That is
and there's
true.
only one side Easter egg solved on this
That's
map.
so sad.
What? Only one? Yes, only one Easter egg.
Only one side EE solved on the final right because nobody's playing this game, bro.
The creative team has even stated in interviews that after saving Klaus, i.e. the hardcore Easter egg, there is still lots to uncover in this map. So clearly there is more side Easter eggs to find.
That is wild. Nobody has ever even decided to hunt. I feel like that's just cap, but
The clock tower, being the tallest building, is almost guaranteed to have something, but what exactly is what remains to be unsolved.
that's interesting.
The last information I have on this tower is that it has a chicken weather vane on the top that is
What's up with these chickens, man? And unsolved Easter eggs? What's up with these chickens, bro? Are they telling me to bring a chicken to one of their studios or something?
identical to the one used for the main Easter egg and the one in Spawn. It also has a Nazi eagle crest at the top as well,
Weird.
just like the one in Spawn. So now it's up to us to find out how to shock the last 3 tentacles and get this Easter egg solved. Okay, let's get more grounded and move on to our next unsolved Easter egg. This is the fountain Easter egg, and no, I'm not talking about the Verruckt fountain again.
Yeah,
I'm
what
actually
is
referring to
this?
this bizarre fountain placed on the wall in
Again, I feel like it's just assets
the
that they
town
just
square on Final Right.
forgot.
It's odd because it's the only one of its kind, and it's
Huh.
really out of place, and it's had people questioning it for quite some time. It's possible the fountain could be filled with blood after enough sacrifices are made,
True,
or
could be
something
like a
when
Blood of the
drained
Dead.
might offer a reward. This could be Sledgehammer's version of the bloodbath on Mob of the Dead or Blood of the Dead, where players filled up a tub with the blood until it drained, giving them the spoon upgrade.
I really like the way they did it on Blood. Too bad it was just really complex to find.
After testing, I was able to see that the jack-in-the-boxes and the lethal grenades do in fact sit in
This
the
just
fountain.
looks like a missing render to me. It just looks like they forgot to put something outside of the map.
There's also a drain at the bottom of the fountain and a weird spout in the lion's mouth.
Yeah.
I tried to figure out what this
Maybe there's something underneath that area that you have to do with it, because a lot of this map is underground.
might actually drain into, but it's kind of tough to tell since you aren't able to get directly underneath the fountain.
I see.
This has my Easter egg spidey senses tingling, but I've yet to find much to go on.
Maybe you
the
gotta
fountain
do
could
something
be a start of an
underneath
egg,
the fountain.
or possibly the place that the reward is picked up at the end of an Easter egg. It's
Yeah, it sounds like something you got to do under it that spawns something above it.
difficult to know for sure, but
It also looks like the Shadows of Evil ultra rare mega gobblegum one where you throw a grenade in the lion's mouth.
the hunt is on for this unsolved
That'll
mystery.
be interesting.
Moving on, let's talk about another popular unsolved Easter egg on the Final Right. The metal panel in the town square.
Oh,
Now this
weird.
panel is identical to the metal panels found around the map that are used in the main Easter egg. The panels are blown open in various ways to reveal a battery. So why is this metal panel on the side of a house in a place where the players can't reach?
I'm telling you, I feel like all of these are just forgotten assets
Well,
with the
it's my belief
developers
that
leaving
since you
them
have
in
to
the
use a
game.
bomber zombie and a whistling zombie to break the other 2 panels open, then it's likely that you need a different kind of zombie for this one. So
Interesting.
I wonder what enemy is tall enough to do the job. Oh yeah, the boss
Oh.
zombie, aka the Panzer Mortar, that just so happens to be the exact same height
One of
and
the
let loose in the same
terrifying
area of the map.
zombies.
Coincidence? I think not, good sir, madam.
Again, I just feel like this is way too much brain work for them just being like, yeah, it's a forgotten asset.
I think not. This panel is begging to be opened, and I am happy to be talking about it in today's video. As for what's in the panel, my best guess at this moment is that it's another battery that perhaps could actually one-hit kill the Panzer Mortar, since you need 3 batteries in total to kill
I think that's wishful thinking.
this beast. It would be a really cool Easter egg reward if you have a
would
super
be cool,
battery
though.
of sorts that one-hits this boss.
But
full
I
skill
just,
enough
I
to
highly
fucking
doubt
whack the
it, to be
panel open.
honest.
I also want to mention that some believe you need to use a trap to reach the panel, but personally I think that the trap's launching ability
Nah.
is solely for the blue Enigma device. But hey, maybe they're right.
I
Maybe
doubt
you need
it.
to launch yourself up and ride the Panzer around like a horse. And with that, that's going to wrap up the panel Easter egg, and now let's talk about
That is a cool little Easter egg, though.
the
Too bad
next
it's
Easter egg,
probably
the
just
secret
nothing.
door Easter egg on Final Right. Now, the door Easter egg is a much lesser known Easter
Another
egg.
one.
This originated after people reported a door in the town square could be opened by shooting it. However, it required you having to complete the hardcore Easter egg in-game before you could actually shoot it.
So nobody will ever do it.
Well, after testing, it seems like the first mystery is what actually triggers the door to be shot. It's currently allowing some players to shoot it and then some not to.
Huh.
So whatever triggers this is probably being done by accident while people do the hardcore Easter egg. So first, we need to sort
Again, probably another bug
out
texture.
what lets people break the door, and then second, we need to sort out why the door
Some
breaks.
random restaurant.
Remember what I
too,
said about how
weird.
the devs said there is a lot more to be found after saving Klaus? Well, could it be possible that this door is actually a secret path for Klaus to walk to?
Yeah, there is a weird little path that he follows when you do this.
Back
so
when the game
that could
first
be
dropped,
it.
Klaus used to glitch out and walk into a
Yeah.
wall, but perhaps maybe he didn't actually glitch out and then he was actually going to a different place. So is
Huh.
it possible to maybe escort Klaus a different way depending on how you prepare the town square?
Again, also, I feel like a lot of this is also just cut ideas that they were going to do. Because, again, he just ends up going nowhere.
I don't know, but for now, let's just find out what makes the door open to start with. I also want to add that the door directly to the left of it can actually be broken by a jump scare zombie, and at the moment I can't say the same for the right
Interesting.
door, so I'm going to still be hunting this, but
Huh.
it is a possibility that this is just a jump scare door. Okay,
Again,
so here is the last
dude, so many on Final Reich. Wow. I guess it just goes to show that they put a lot of time into this map, but a lot of people did not play it.
unsolved Easter egg on the final right, the ibeam Easter egg. Now, back when this map
Really?
first dropped, everyone thought that this was actually the number
I remember
one,
seeing
and
that.
people were really confused why the number one was all over these weird spots all over the map. Well, then they realized that it was an ibeam
just
and not the number one.
support.
Well, this makes a lot more sense why they're all over the map. It's just decorative features to
Yeah,
make the
it's
map
just
appear
it's
more
just
real.
an asset.
But wait, there's an ibeam Easter egg in the Darkest Shores, so is there an ibeam Easter egg in the Final Reich?
Oh.
It's very possible that an ibeam could be used in an Easter egg in the Final Reich as well. And this actually leads me straight into our next unsolved Easter egg, the ibeam Easter egg on Darkest Shore.
Darkest Shores should just be forgotten.
Wait, that's the
I'm
one you
gonna
were
be
just
real
talking
with
about.
y'all.
Well, it's believed that
One
this
of the
Easter egg
worst zombie
isn't actually
maps
solved
ever.
yet, so let me back up a little bit. What is the ibeam
this?
Easter
Yeah,
egg?
what even is
well,
this?
if you make your way into the U-boat pen on the Darkest Shore, you'll see these two I-beams in a window barrier. Now, if you shoot the left I-beam 8 times, it will eventually turn and spell out the word hi and then give you 250 jolts or points. Now, personally, this is where I believe that the Easter egg comes to a halt and it is actually solved.
I'm pretty sure that would be it, bro. There's no way they'd put more than that.
And that it's just a funny message from the devs saying
Yeah.
hi. But there are a lot of people that believe that now that you get the 250 jolts, that you need to take those jolts and then drop it somewhere on the map like
Oh,
you did for the
it's like with the max ammo Easter egg. There's gotta be more. No, bro.
PSH Easter egg on the final right.
There's no
Now, I could
way.
very well see this being the case, but in my gut, I just think it's a funny message from one of the devs.
I think it
So
is
now that
just
we've
a
covered
funny
this
message.
potential
That's
unsolved
about
Easter egg,
it.
maybe now you have some ideas for the iBeam Easter egg on the final right, if one does exist.
Why
But
8
that is going to wrap up
times?
our unsolved Easter eggs on the
Somebody's also got to go into the code of these non-Treyarch games as well. I'd be very
final
curious
right,
to
and
hear
now
about
let's move
that.
on to our next map.
What's
I
next?
promise we're almost done. I've only
Darkest
got 2
Shore
Easter eggs, so
again.
just please hang in
I'm
there.
gonna
But the next one
absolutely
is the
cancel this
Darkest
map.
Shore and is going to be the number or color cipher. Now this is a really weird and
cipher
strange
on
one
this
that
map?
kind of feels a lot like the Yeti Ice Cipher that's on Infinite Warfare on Zombies in Spaceland.
Really?
So this one takes place in the secret room in the minecart tunnels. So on the floor there
This
are
map is
3
wild.
coffins, and on 2 of the coffins there are these colored squares with letters that border the entire coffin. Now the fact that there's only 2 and not on all 3 is really odd, because if it was a duplicate asset then it would be on all 3 coffins. So where it gets weirder is that we actually have the same colors on the breakable panels around the map. So would shooting these with the Ripsaw do something? Also, side note, I know these panels are used in the main Easter egg, but I'm just kind of thinking out loud here for a potential side Easter egg.
If they're used for the main Easter egg, most of the times they never incorporate main and side Easter eggs like that. So I think it's just, again, another asset
So if the Ripsaw is
misplaced.
used in this, keep in mind that we also have an upgraded Easter egg allowing us to
Yeah,
buy
there's
ammo
no
for the Ripsaw.
shot.
Could
There's
that have
no
a deeper
shot.
meaning than just surviving? Perhaps being able to buy infinite ammo for the Ripsaw is to shoot the hundreds of tiles needed to progress this cipher. Now, I'm aware how far-fetched this is, but hey, welcome to World War II Easter eggs. They're hard as fuck, and they don't care about your feelings.
Yep,
the devs said they
that
were the
sounds
hardest
about
ones
right.
yet, and they meant it. So far-fetched
Yeah,
is
again,
right
I
at home
highly
with World War
doubt
II
any of
Easter
these are
eggs.
even
And now the
solvable
moment we've
too,
all been
if
waiting
they
for,
are.
Chronicle
Again, a lot of these I feel like the devs put in just to be like, we can do this, and you don't know about this.
2. Wait, nope, that's a future video.
Batteries?
At least we
What
hope.
is this?
Well, no, of course,
Why
I'm
on
talking about the
Darkest
final
Shore?
unsolved Easter egg. Now, this is the possible panel Easter egg
Played
on
this
the
map a
Darkest Shore.
solid 3
So
times.
there's 2 sets of panels, and they are found at the top of the map on the Darkest Shore. So when translated, they read surface, opposite, and within. Now, I hate to be a negative Nancy here, but personally, I don't think this is an Easter egg. Then why'd you put it in your video? Well, I want to be as thorough as possible, and there are some
I think a lot of the World War II ones are just them screwing around with assets and people thinking they're Easter eggs when they're not.
people who
That's
have been
what I'm
hunting these
getting the
panels or
gist of at
batteries,
least
if you
right
will,
now.
And they believe that you need to switch the levers on these in some fashion and it'll trigger something. As for my take on this, I really doubt this as an Easter egg. There's a few simple reasons, and here's my first one. These panels are also found on the final right. Now, here's the second one. These panels aren't exactly reachable to a player, and here's my third reason. The final step of the Easter egg takes place right in front of these batteries. So why would they
Yeah,
make a
there's
side Easter egg
no
overlap
way.
the finale
There's
of the main Easter
no
egg?
way.
But hey, there's both sides of the coin. I'll let you decide if this is an
Again, I always say, at least with the development psychology behind these non-Treyarch games, they never mix side and main Easter eggs. So that I'm gonna have to
Easter
say
egg or
this is
not.
debunked
And with
for
that,
sure.
we've now got every
Just
single
a
unsolved Easter
little
egg
better
in
look
all
for the
of
map.
zombies collectively in one place. But wait, there's more. I actually have an honorable mention Easter egg because this always bothered me back in the day, and I kind of remember the community looking into this. But these 3 panels here, you might be able to stack a jack-in-the-box. It is possible to get one to stick on there, so I don't know, look into it. It's something to think about if you're bored looking for
That's
something.
kind of cool. Again, I think a lot of assets are just there, but that is crazy for the amount of
This brings us
Easter
to
eggs.
a grand total of 29
Wow.
unique Easter eggs, and then 38 total if you count each cipher on Revelations.
Wow.
This is pulling from World at War, BO1, BO2, BO3, BO4, Cold War, Exo Zombies, Infinite Warfare Zombies, Extinction, Dead Ops, and World War II. I
Wow.
promised you I researched every single
Absalom,
game.
you did a
My
great
goal is
job.
to round up
Again, though, this does prove that a lot of what we know is solved, but we don't know a lot as well. So yet again, big shout out to Absalom. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see y'all in that next one.